Hi, I'm Lisa McBride, the Product and Audiology Manager at GN Hearing in ANZ. Now, I'm based in Sydney, Australia, but I'm originally from a small coastal town called Bangor in Northern Ireland. All my family still live over there, including my dad, Mark. And my dad has recently had his hearing tested, and he has a fairly mild hearing loss, but it's something that's starting to already impact him a little bit in some of those more challenging listening environments. So, a little bit about my dad. He's a retired accountant, but he's still involved quite heavily in a lot of different accountancy bodies. He would go to a lot of meetings, chair different meetings, do presentations, go to a lot of sort of work-related dinners as well too, as well as his whole social life where he's out for dinner and sort of drinks with different friends, family. And because him and my mum live in this lovely coastal town, they love doing a lot of walks along the beach as well. And you can imagine being in Northern Ireland, it can be a bit windy sometimes on those walks, so they get very, very hopped up. So a lot of odds out there will be thinking, Lisa, you've got the perfect excuse. You don't have to fit your dad because you live on the other side of the world. But stupid me decided to give it a try. So, with the help of the GN Hearing team in the UK and also from the ReSound Assist remote fine tuning technology, I actually fit my dad with a set of the ReSound 1 hearing aids and included some of the new Marie receivers as well. So in this video, I'm going to show you some of the highlights and how we did this. So let's get started. So because me and my family are on the other side of the world already, and we've been relying on video calls for a long time now to communicate and connect us from Northern Ireland to Australia, the concept of using video calls for fitting the hearing aids came pretty naturally to us. We started off the process using a FaceTime call to begin with. And we took everything out of the box together and talked through all the different little bits and pieces. So I explained to him how the hearing aids are designed to sit on his ears, how you would attach the receivers, what the little filters are for. And we together worked out which are the best dome sizes for him. Now, for my dad, we tried a couple of different sizes. He did need a slightly bigger one in one ear than the other just to get a really good fit. But as you can see, we got a perfect fit. It was something that he's really impressed with is how nicely and discreetly they fit on his ears. And it was actually the first comment my mum made as well whenever she saw them too, was just how discreet they were on him. We also went through the charger as well. So I explained how the charger works, made sure he was able to get the hearing aids in the charger, how to know when they're fully charged, how to know when the portable battery is needing charged in the premium charger casing as well. We also made sure that he had the app downloaded and we went through the process of pairing the hearing aids within the iPhone settings as well. And it was just quite a simple process of kind of guiding him through it. But because the video call was on, it felt like I was kind of sitting next to him. After we'd made sure that we had everything set up, that's when we moved into the ReSound SmartFit fitting software. So for me, I just had to log in to the SmartFit software using my GN Online Services login. And for my dad, I just had to tell him to wait for me to phone him again because the way the call comes through for the live assistants just looks exactly the same as if I was doing another FaceTime call for him. So very, very easy from his end. So I started the live assistance call and then connected to the hearing aids themselves. We did have a little funny moment where for some reason his camera decided to go sideways and we had to do a little bit of figuring out on the iPad end, but once that was sorted, we were good to go. Here you can see what it looked like for both me and for my dad on my computer and on his iPad. The video call sort of functionality of the live assistants was great. It meant then you could just chat away and have that same sort of feeling like you would if it was a face-to-face appointment. My mum even jumped in for a little while and said hi and had a quick chat before she escaped again. Once we had everything connected, we started off by doing an in situ audiogram. So even though my dad had had his hearing tested, this was a really good way of me being able to verify the devices, check everything was working as it should. And we also did the feedback calibration as well, which was great to check the fit, but also to make sure that that Marie receiver was set up optimally for his ears. So I set my dad up as a first time user since that's what he is, but he actually was managing really well. I was expecting to have to do a little bit more fine tuning for him because of this being his first experience. But I think it was partly because of using the Marie receivers. They kept things sounding a little bit more natural for him. So he was able to acclimatize that a little bit faster. Once we had the main setup done and we made sure that everything was comfortable, done a couple of subjective checks, we were able to get into really personalizing the fitting a little bit more. So we were chatting through the different sort of program options where my dad would struggle with his hearing and then set up the correct programs for him. So we settled on the all around program for everyday use, which would sort of adjust automatically based on the environment, an ultra focused program to help him in some of those much more challenging listening environments.
Yeah, the program two, is program two the focus one? Yeah, you can really can hear it changing the listening to you. Yeah.
An outdoors program for whenever he's down at the beach. This would also isolate that Marie receiver program so that he gets the best wind reduction possible. And also a music program because he does love music. And we did test this out at the end when we jumped back onto a FaceTime call. Once we had everything checked, all the fine tuning was done, then we went through the device controls, made sure that hearing the low battery warning beeps and everything were comfortable before saving the fitting and disconnecting the devices.
Oh, 5 stars, Lisa. 5 stars. It's funny, so what's then cut out now? You can notice I can notice the difference. Although I suppose I've got something stuck on the ear. I know, well, but I really can notice the difference now when that switches off.
Before we fully finished off, though, we did one more FaceTime call. And in this call, what we focused on was making sure that everything was connected up for direct streaming to his phone and that he knew how to use the app. So I walked him through how to use the app, how to change between those different programs that we set up. And we tested out the direct streaming and also with some music. So he loves his Alexa and he played some music in the kitchen while I was on the call with him and he could hear it coming through lovely and clear. And then we also checked to make sure that the direct streaming and everything was working and that he could hear the music coming through from his phone as well. So he's really excited to be able to use his hearing aids as some little wireless headphones as well. Just a little bit of background. He already has a set of the little Jabra earbuds, which he's loved. And he loves this idea of being able to have the hearing aids and that technology kind of combined in together. One of the real perks of doing the fitting remotely was that my dad could try the hearing aids in his home rather than in a clinic environment. So he was able to test them out in his kitchen rather than somewhere that he wouldn't normally be. And he even was able to take the hearing aids and his iPad out into the back garden. He couldn't go too far because he didn't want the Wi-Fi to cut out, but he was able to get a little bit of a sense of what it would be like in outdoors and in wind noise. And I could change between the different settings while he was doing that. Another function of ReSound Assist, which I think would be particularly useful for me and my dad, is the asynchronous functionality. With asynchronous, you don't have to be online at exactly the same moment like we had to be for the live call. So that's particularly useful considering the extreme time zones that we're working with. My dad could send me a request for assistance saying that devices maybe are a little bit too loud or a little bit too soft, or he'd like a different program. He could send that to me whatever time of day suits him. Might be while I'm asleep, but whenever I get up the next morning, I can see that he's made that request and I can make whatever adjustment, send it to him, and he can download it whenever he gets up the next morning. So as you can see, the process was pretty seamless. There are a couple of extra things that you do have to consider whenever it is an entirely remote fitting, like doing a couple of FaceTime calls did really help, doing one at the beginning and one at the end, just to make sure that we had everything set up, that he had the app downloaded, the devices connected in his iPhone settings, that he had the receivers all attached and could put them in his ears properly. All those little bits and pieces at the beginning really helped. The stuff that you would normally do before entering the fitting software in a face-to-face appointment. And doing another video call afterwards was great for testing out the streaming, for checking that it was all working when he went out into the garden. All those bits and pieces were great. Now, since we actually fit the devices, my dad's already actually taken them for a bit of a spin.
Hi Lisa, I'm down at Bangor Marina and I'm just trying these hearing aids out and just trying these hearing aids out in different places. So I'm outside, I'm down at the marina in Bangor. Nice cold fresh morning, it's only 5.5 degrees and not much wind about here, so I'm going to take a bit of a walk around the coast and see how they work when there's some background noise. I've walked a bit further around now, around to the coast. I don't know whether you can hear the waves. I'm just getting really used to having the hearing aids in now, and really strange as I'm walking along and how they can pick up sounds to the side. And the other strange thing about the hearing aids is that no one actually has noticed. None of my friends have noticed that I have them in. It's just so neat. There's just that tiny wire coming down the side. They're just so neat above the ear. So I'm going to take a bit of a walk on round where it's a bit more open. Some brave swimmers out this morning. It's only 5.5 degrees here, a bit chilly for me.
And that's it. It was as easy as that. So I hope this video has got you excited and given you some ideas of how you can incorporate remote fine tuning into your clinic and really thinking about the possibilities for us connecting with people even on the other side of the world. For me, it was a great way to still be able to connect to my dad, even though I'm in Australia and he's still in Northern Ireland. If you've got any questions at all about remote fine tuning, about ReSound 1, the Marie receivers, or any other aspect that I covered in this video, please reach out to me or your local product specialist and we'll be more than happy to give you some extra information. Have a great day and see you all soon.